Hello, everybody, and welcome to Final Show Films. I'm John, your executive producer here, and thanks for tuning in to watch or listen to whatever it is you're about to watch or listen to. In these trying times, we really do appreciate everyone that feels that we are worth their time, and we hope that we're able to give you something entertaining to while away the time as you spend it. We particularly want to thank those of you that feel like we're worth financially contributing to, particularly our $25 and up supporters on Patreon, who are Antitonic, Drevian Alexander, Cat Waterflame, Rowan Parker, and Samantha Bates. Yes, I read that off of a list. Thank you very much for supporting us. I know that in these uncertain times, finances are tough for everybody, so that you're willing to donate to us means a lot to all of us here, and we thank you. That being said, please sit back, relax, and enjoy. We are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Star Wars Twilight Nights. I am John. I'm your game master for the evening, and I am getting into Roll20 because I'm running late on that end because I have ADHD. Which is not an excuse so much as an explanation for why I'm late on things. But joining me today, while I'm getting in here and cleaning out the dice pool, is Craig.
Hi. I'm Craig. I'm playing Crack Tulpa, a Quarren Sentinel artisan slash guardian. And I have... We good to roll, John?
Yeah, I've cleared it up.
All right, cool.
One light side.
Hey, befitting my new status.
And Jeremy.
Hi, my name is Jeremy. I am playing Ilyana, a Dacian Mirren mystic, and give me just a second. I'm sorry, I had to crop an image for a puppy battle royal post.
Good sentence.
It makes me happy to hear. I don't know anything about it, but it made me happy to listen to the
There's
words.
a puppy battle royal. That's all you need to know.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. It's not
Dark side point. That's appropriate.
Not really much more complicated than that. And Aaron?
Fort Bite.
Hi, I'm Aaron. I am playing Red, Miraluka Pilot. I forgot to sync my Destiny pool, and 2 light side.
And William?
Hi, I'm William, and I'm playing Corsarath, the Sith Pureblood Makashi duelist, and I'm going to roll Destiny and get 2 more dark sides.
And Jack?
I'm Jack. I'm playing Josh Ulan, the Chiss Sorcerer Defender and Guardian Protector. And 1 dark side.
And Holly?
I'm Holly. I'm playing Vazia, Pureblood Sith, Geo Berserker, and 2 dark side.
And Mara?
Hi, I'm Mara, and I'm playing Neri's droid counselor, and 1 light side.
All right. And do we have anybody whose morality is above 80 or below 20?
Me.
Someone is proud of himself.
Go ahead and flip some Destiny for me then. 1 each.
So we just leave it as it is, or?
Nope.
No?
No, I think we both.
Oh, okay.
We
They
both fuck it up.
both
okay.
flip a point. It doesn't matter which one.
Yeah, Destiny, regardless, even if it's light side,
okay.
dark side users still.
Yeah, because
it's
Destiny Light and Dark is a reflection of player versus universe, as opposed to light side force user versus dark side force user.
Makes sense.
All right. When last we left off, well, I have a thing now. Star Wars: The Twilight Nights, Episode 20, Codex, Black Pyramid. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. The year is 3643 BBY, or 10 years before the Battle of Yavin. Or sorry, not 10. That's 3643 years before the Battle of Yavin. My brain is not working today. 10 years after the Treaty of Coruscant was signed. most recently, I don't have a in-universe text spiel for this one. The Aeon Cutter was attacked by the Sith Empire. It appeared, and our Twilight Knights escaped following an emergency evacuation coordinates that had been discreetly delivered to Corserath via his contact, known only as the Black Pyramid. They escaped to a planet whose name I cannot remember. But I wrote down
Ibanji?
I think it's Ibanji.
Jumanji.
Yes.
Yes, we did
Yeah,
say it was a Bungie because it was always going to be
Ibanji,
Jumanji.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes.
Right, yeah.
Jeremy.
Mhm.
They escaped to the planet
I
Ibanji.
try.
Yes. They escaped to the planet Ibanji, where they came across an individual referring to themselves as Codex, who destroyed a pair of Sith Empire stealth ships that seemed to have been cloaked in some sort of experimental technology, and then hid the Shio under some technologically controlled animals that were kind of like manta rays that could camouflage into their environments before leading them off into another direction. So, the group of you are following behind this individual. Again, this individual is wearing a fully enclosed suit of armor that seems to be part laminate armor, part leather armor, sort of like leather, like accoutrement attaching at various places. The helmet fully closed and sealed. No visible features of them identifiable, aside from the fact that they are a bipedal humanoid. Even their voice is disguised through the helmet that they wear, coming out as this sort of distorted, almost like text-to-speech almost quality of voice. They are carrying a sniper pattern disruptor rifle, which is to say a gun that can shoot down ships. And they are walking off in a direction with the group of you following behind.
Yep.
Is there anything anybody is doing amongst yourselves as you follow?
I'm gonna leave the Crabots on the ship.
Okay.
Josh is just walking next to Nerys.
Yeah, for now, just watching and learning.
As this individual leads you all along, the planet's sort of wasteland and topography becomes more apparent to you than it was obviously from the ship. This place is a wasteland. There's not even enough like matter for it to be considered a desert. There's no sand. It's just dry, cracked, broken ground, as far as the eye can see, with some mountains in the distance, but nothing nearby. You can see evidence of life in that there is giant skeletal structures present from some sort of ancient beings that may at one point in time roamed this land, but have since become just set decoration in this wasteland. Skulls the size of buildings, rib cages the size of towers, that kind of thing. Occasionally, you may see a drastically smaller figure darting about between the bones and off in the distance, significantly far away from you. Everyone can make me a perception check, I think is the role you have.
Yep.
Yes.
What difficulty?
Difficulty 2.
Okay. One success.
Hey, one success.
2 success, 2 threat.
One success.
Success and an advantage.
Should I take that as strain? Or
No, don't worry
use it
about
for
it.
something else?
Ale.
Yeah, Josh, Nereus, Crack, Avasia, of course, rather waiting for one from
Two,
Ilyana.
two.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know why those are in there, but
Failure. All right. So everyone except for Red and Ilyana. Odd that Red isn't getting this, but Red's a little distracted
actually,
right now.
Let me check something because. No, that's just.
You just
yeah,
had
that's
it in your
just
dice
move
pool,
to
probably.
terrain. No, I was checking because I realized retroactively I have a bunch of like outdoorsy things, but it's only like moving through terrain or finding tracks and shit.
Yeah. So potentially Red is a bit distracted, and also their helmet that they are wearing is potentially causing some interference with this. But everyone but Red and Ilyana, you every once in a while you almost feel and hear this bit of static. For people that have tinnitus, it's that. For people that don't have tinnitus, it's the sound that an old cathode ray tube TV turning on makes.
Yep.
Mhm.
That ka-chunk.
Yep.
The whiny,
Yeah.
the high pitched whine.
Yeah.
Yep.
A high pitched whine with a little bit of static underlying it.
Yep.
So yeah, every once in a while, and whenever you hear that, any figures that might be off in the distance seem to disappear, seemingly in response to the sound.
What is that?
You say it out loud.
Yes.
There doesn't seem to be any response from the person leading you.
I don't know.
What?
Is there anything particular that makes Josh think this might be some sort of illusion or hologram or anything like that?
You give me another perception check, difficulty 4.
I'm
Okay.
trying to figure out like where it's coming from. If it's like something this figure is like emitting.
Perception
Or-
check, difficulty 3.
Okay.
One success, 2 threat.
So, Josh, you're keeping an eye on things, and you notice that every time this sound occurs, the person leading you touches his right index finger and thumb.
Okay.
And when he lets go, the sound goes away.
All right.
It's too quiet.
Yep.
But at the same time piercing for you to really get a sense of where it's coming from.
So
fair.
I want to clarify cause and effect here because this is relevant. Is for his clarification. Is it he pinches his fingers and the noise happens, or the noise happens and he pinches his fingers?
He pinches his fingers and the noise happens, and when he lets go, the noise stops.
Okay. So he's causing it, not canceling it.
Do we have a name for him? at this
Codex.
Codex.
Codex. Okay. Crack speaks more loudly and says, "Codex, I'm not sure if you heard Nariz. They were asking, what's that sound?"
The figure continues to not respond.
Codex.
What
Crack
sound?
will. You feel it in your Let's see. What do you have? And Crack thinks for a second. Sinuses? Whatever you have in your skull, the holes, but on the inside. You know, the ones. Oh, Kitty was telling me about them. They're designed to drain, but the drain's in the top, so they have to fill anyway inside.
I stopped listening.
Sinuses, Crack.
Right.
And John, when you say motion in the distance, they disappear. Is it a disappear as in immediately evaporate from existence, or disappear as in they go into hiding?
As they go into hiding.
Okay, all right. So, okay, that explains something a little more.
Yeah.
All right. Significantly less paranormal now. Cool.
I will also say, I don't know if it's ever been established in canon whether Quarren have skeletons or not. Can we go with the fact that they have fluid-filled bladders and he forgets what skull and bone things are about? Okay.
Go for it.
All right.
I feel like they're mostly cartilage.
Yeah.
Cartilage
Right.
with some sort of buoyancy factor.
He doesn't have sinuses and thinks they're stupid.
Yeah.
To be fair, neither does John, at least upper sinuses.
Yeah, I don't have upper sinuses. I only have lower. I have a.
John probably appreciates them because your biology would really appreciate them.
I mean, it's sort of a pro and con because not having upper sinuses means these sinuses get clogged way easier, and it also means that I have trouble breathing. However, it also means I can't get migraines.
Okay, that is fair. Migraines are the worst thing.
So it's like I can't
no,
breathe.
I would make that trade-off.
I can't breathe, but I also can't get migraines.
Ooh.
See, I
Not being
currently
able to breathe
can't
versus
breathe
having
and
migraine.
have a constant migraine, so I would make that trade.
So yeah, it's like it's a.
That's like, yeah. Do I want to be punched repeatedly in the groin area, or do I want to have like beat across the head with a 2x4?
It's an interesting trade-off.
Yeah.
It also didn't help that I also had a deviated septum because Italians have a disproportionately large percentage of the population that have deviated septums. So like in addition to only having the bottom two sinuses, also my septum was slanted 80% over to one side. So couldn't breathe for a variety of reasons growing up.
Welcome to Weird Biology Facts.
Yeah.
Josh will just lean over to Maurice. I believe our guide is contributing.
Yes.
We'll
Is that
learn more if
keeping
we
away-
need to.
Go ahead, Jack.
Possibly.
That's where he finishes.
Mhm. Possibly.
Just pretending Crack is not talking.
Does he have
Maybe-
anything mechanical on his gloves? Is he pushing a button on the?
I mean,
gloves
he's
to make
wearing
sound?
laminate armor. Like there's lots of mechanics there.
Sure, but is there anything specific on the?
There doesn't seem to be anything externally that is like it's not like there's a giant mechanical gauntlet or something on his arm. So it's not something that you're noticing. And Jasper's the only one that's even noticed the finger movement at the moment.
Okay, all right.
And he is not bringing it up.
Yeah, there doesn't. He does not seem to be having to be, very heavily equipped. His armor, at least.
Is whatever's moving around out there something we should be aware of or worried about?
Probably.
Yeah, all right then.
The way to get under Crack's skin is to
suspect-
not answer any questions.
Right.
It is a Varn, Crack. Where is this safe place you are going? We speak up at the figure in front of us.
There continues to be no response.
I don't think his oral sensors are working in the helmet.
I'm going to do a really stupid thing.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really stupid thing.
Yeah.
Can I
I'm
ask a question that I was trying to observe
Go ahead.
before? Sorry.
no.
that
Go
just
ahead.
sounds like it might blow things up, and I would like to get this
It
information.
very well might.
Go ahead.
Can I tell like anything about the topography, geography, plant life here? Like what kind of planet this might be in terms of what sort of structures we might anticipate?
As regards to, like,
As we're walking along this area,
Yeah.
like from what I'm hearing and feeling, is it likely to be an underground thing, a hovering
okay.
thing? Which kind of Star Wars
yeah,
housing
give me
might
a.
be this planet?
Yeah. Give me
That's a
a.
weird question.
No, I get what you're asking. I was just trying to figure out exactly what it was. Give me a either survival roll, difficulty 2, or either a survival roll difficulty 2 or a outer rim roll difficulty 3.
I'll take survival because they're the same and lower difficulty is good. Never mind. I apologize for interrupting for no reason. Go ahead.
No idea.
So I am going to use sense.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I would say you're within engaged range of this individual.
I mean, it doesn't matter because I can be in short range.
You're
I
definitely
bought
within
that
short
range.
range. Yeah.
I bought that range upgrade, and I'm going to try and detect Codex's current thoughts.
Okay. Let's get a roll.
Yep.
Hang on one second. Yeah, okay. It's just a force roll, right?
Yeah, I don't know why they put difficulty. in there.
Yeah.
I forgot to take out. But so 2 successes,
Okay.
two force die.
You get an intricate breakdown into the mechanical workings of a pistol, and the belief that this person has been trained
Yeah.
specifically to deal with people that can read their
You
mind.
didn't have to say that part. It was clear. So yeah, just spontaneously from the large group right in the middle, Ileana just goes.
Man, At and Rand learned how to shut up.
Atmosphere not agreeing with you, Ileana?
Someone's an asshole.
I assumed that was who was speaking.
I try and gamely.
Craig has the good grace to appear somewhat embarrassed and said, I apologize. It was a new sort of humor that I was experimenting with. I do not feel like it was a good fit. It will not happen again.
Good.
Trying to ignore whatever is happening back there, because I assume.
I believe this sort of improvisation is called scatting.
Korsrath looks over his shoulder at the rest of the group. If we could please cease antagonizing our guide and, if necessary, continue the journey with a bit of focus.
Hold. A voice says from the helmet.
Hold.
Stopping.
The disruptor rifle is placed over the shoulder, sort of on a sling, and the figure pulls up their left arm, messes with some interface on the inner forearm of their left arm of their armor, and you hear a as the ground in front of them, this sort of still barren wasteland, splits and slides open, revealing a staircase that seems fairly advanced technology. Like, this is very clearly a bunker of some kind. It then turns and sort of steps off to one side. Enter.
What's the smell like?
Smells of clean, as opposed to the very, like, sort of dusky, dirty smell that the planet itself has. There's no immediately, like, overpowering aromas that pop out at you.
Korsrath enters.
Yeah, I mean, Crack's
follows.
going in as soon as he can.
Fine.
Josh will go in just before Nerys does.
Yep. I'll follow.
Red going in, if Aaron can hear me. If not, I'll just assume Red does. All right. So, you all go down. Codex follows behind the rest of you as the last of you gets down, and takes a minute to sort of just look out and scan the horizon before, again, messing with that interface on his inner left forearm, and the bunker begins to close. As you head down the stairs, you eventually find yourself opening out into a sort of a what looks to be sort of a small barracks of some kind. There is a single bunk off to one corner. There is a computer array interface set up on the wall, and there's an armory along the back wall, as well as another door on the left and right. As Codex comes down, the seal with the roof sealed. No one say anything. He moves over to the computer and very quickly punches something in. And you all get a very quick bit of mental static, almost, as something just passes through you. Now we can talk.
I would like very much to see if I can see what was punched in.
Give me a perception check, difficulty 2.
Okay.
Intrusion countermeasures.
1 success, 2 threat.
You see the letters that were punched in, but it's not in any language you're familiar with. It seems to be an encoded keyboard.
Okay. Can I remember the positions?
Yeah. The figure turns around. Just some countermeasures to keep people from spying on us, both technologically and through your mind powers. The figure reaches up, releases a latch on the bottom of the helmet, and pulls it off to reveal blue skin, red eyes, and black hair. In a configuration that this person looks near on identical to the Exarch, but with a slightly darker skin tone and 5 o'clock shadow that hasn't been cleanly shaved.
Josh will just give
Hello?
a short nod.
How are you?
So, I only...
Go ahead.
Oh, you got.
Oh, no, just a snide comment from our immature Decimerian.
So, I only got word that the Aeon Cutter was going to be attacked. I don't actually know what happened, so if you all could fill me in.
It was attacked.
Darth Fluxati decided that he was going to put an end to the Aeon Cutter, likely because of the Order's interference in his plans and destruction of several of his apprentices.
And the how?
Imperial Battle Fleet.
No.
Red will rattle off actually
And
information about the space encounter.
Jeremy?
and a person.
Presumably Fluxati himself arrived on the cutter.
You got a description?
I will give the description of the mask and the individual.
Yeah, that's Fluxati. The scars are the big giveaway. Also more, how did they find the ship?
We knew they were already on the way before we left, yeah?
You knew something was about to happen because you received an emergency escape route notification.
No, before we left the spice mine.
Oh.
We knew something was going to happen because someone saw the future.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also think there's a good portion of people, not including me, that know that there was like icky black and tracking magic.
Yeah.
Also, important point. Did Ilyana say that? Was that in character about
No, that
because
was
some?
that was me.
Oh, okay.
That was me answering William.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Our best guess would be that someone used the Force to follow our ship back through hyperspace after we left the scene where we had assisted Archon, as I try and remember the Archon's name,
Zilda.
Archon Zilda in said dismantling.
Potentially assisted by the fact that they were already having a confrontation with the Republic on that planet.
It was all gonna happen anyway.
Avasia,
Mhm.
make me a perception check, difficulty 1.
Okay.
I'm trying to read this guy with the information because Nereus is very suspicious and
Sure.
like not entirely trusting.
Make
this.
a cool roll, difficulty
Wait a minute.
3.
Mara, are you
Two
saying that you're
successes.
playing an untrusting character?
Yes.
Difficulty
I
3.
know.
Difficulty 3 upgraded 3 times. Mara.
Okay.
Avasia, something. You keep noticing something in the way this person shifts and moves.
Mhm.
They have almost an identical physicality to Corserath.
Mhm.
Nereus, impossible to read. You have
Okay.
you're not getting anything.
All right.
She'll stay silent for now.
Right. Well, I guess I'd better introduce myself. My name is Jinimaizo Zardun. You are all familiar with my brother, I'm assuming, the Exarch of your order.
Mm-hmm.
Red
Hello.
does not speak up to contradict.
So, here's what I know, and we'll see if we can't put 2 and 2 together. The Sith Empire goaded the Galactic Republic into an attack in that quadrant, hoping that a particular relief organization, the Horizon Relief Group, would respond. They provoked the attack using their Mandalorian forces so that it wouldn't look quite as much as a trap as it was. After springing their trap and getting confirmation that the Horizon Group was there, however it was that they were able to confirm that, Darth Fluxati's forces moved in with an armada to capture or destroy the Aeon Cutter. That's when I put those pieces together is when I sent my warning to the quickest resource that I had access to, nodding towards Corserath.
I would take it you are also then Black Pyramid.
Black Pyramid is an organization.
Hmm.
There is not one Black Pyramid.
This is the first time I'm hearing that. Is there any chance I can make a roll, see if
Give me
I
a
recognize that?
underworld. It'd be an underworld roll, difficulty 3.
I don't know. I was an executioner. I know some random weird stuff.
Sure.
I'm just not very smart. Nah.
No,
Failure.
not coming across at all.
Hmm.
Anyone else who wants to can also make an underworld roll, difficulty 3, for information on the Black Pyramid.
That would imply that they knew that, at the very least, the effort was present and in the area where they intended to launch that fight prior to our departure.
Well, no, the fight was meant to draw them there.
But it does confirm suspicions that they were not simply following and retaliating against our actions in the Outer Rim.
They couldn't have followed us to where we were going and set the fight up in the time span, because by the time we had arrived, the fight was already done.
Right. No, your order has...
Lots of people got successes, by the way.
Yes, I know. Waiting for a moment in the conversation. So, Ilyana, Crack, Josh. Yeah, Ilyana, Crack, and Josh. So, The Black Pyramid is a name you have heard before as an information broker. It's never really it's always referred to as an individual rather than as an organization, so that the information that it's an organization is new to you. But it is specifically an organization that operates independently, or it was an individual that operated independently of the Republic, the Empire, or anything else. It was basically sort of like, if you needed information and figured out how to contact them, the Black Pyramid would provide it for you for a price, whatever that price would be. It's the sort of thing that hut bosses would go out of their way to spend inordinate amounts of credits to acquire the contact information of the Black Pyramid.
Shadow broker.
Kind of.
Paywall Spycraft Wikipedia. Got it.
And like getting the idea being that the contact info of the Black Pyramid by itself is a valuable resource, much less the information the Black Pyramid could provide.
John,
Yes.
when all this is going on, Avazia is continuing. She's watching Corsorath and sorry, who is this guy?
You can call him either
What was
Codex
his name?
or Jin Imaizo Zardun.
Codex.
So Codex.
Yeah. She's kind of looking between the two of them, seeing if there's anything else she picks up.
You notice they have some very similar builds, very similar physicality, similar draw line, similar hairstyles. There's a lot of physical similarities between the two, as well as just how they carry themselves. Which is something that only you would know because you're the only person in the crew that has spent more amount of time looking at Corsorath than anyone else.
I should hope so.
It's kind of like when you it's kind of like meeting your significant, like meeting a distant relative of your significant other, kind of is what it sort of feels like to you.
Mm-hmm.
Or a not so distant relative.
I mean, no, but
Yeah. Fazia has an idea what's happening here.
no. They set the trap, they sprung it. However it is that they're able to track you guys, I don't know. I'm assuming force mumbo jumbo. Do you know what happened after you left? Did you get any sort of communications from anyone or anything?
Excessive amounts of electrical discharge from the ship itself, implying significant use of heavy force power. And also, while no direct communication was made, sensations of extreme torment radiated from the ship, implying painful torture of survivors.
So, survivors.
Yep.
That's good.
Not if you're them.
There's sort of you get sort of the feeling that this person has very mixed views on the quality of being tortured versus dying. They don't really say anything though. Well, if there are survivors that they want information out of, or that they just want to toy with for a while, Fluxati's going to take them back to his base. So I need to get that information. Put together a strike team. See if my brother's still alive. Get him out. Scold him later.
Jinibus Sardun was also among the first to face Fluxati.
Yeah. Yeah, that's his style. He's also not one that dies easy.
Of anyone, he would be the most likely candidate for a desirable prisoner.
I don't know a whole lot about your command structure. We sort of kept that information separate for logistical reasons. Do you guys have anyone you could go to for leadership on this?
The leadership structure of the order is very loose. We would need to be able to find an Archon to be able to try and contact any of them.
Have any leads?
I mean, I as a player legitimately don't remember. Do we?
Yeah, I mean, where at least 2 other Archons
yeah,
are
right.
operating.
We know the potential locations of 2 Archons who are operating.
One on Coruscant and one in Alteron.
Yeah. We have one contact on Coruscant and one.
Is that including the one I'm aware of?
Which one are you aware of?
The Archon that I met.
Oh.
The only one that stabby stab.
Zilda.
Zilda.
Oh, Zilda. Yeah, no, you guys don't know where Zilda is at the moment.
Yeah.
Well,
We know where Zilda was heading, but not where
Yeah.
he is.
yeah. Well, he sort of leans back against the computer terminal and puts his arms behind his head. You're free to stay here while you figure out what you're doing next. You'll be safe here. They can't track this location. And I'll be burning it once you leave, so no one will know where it was.
Where will you be going at that point?
Put together a strike team, figure out where Fluxati's base is, and just do some Sith hunting.
Crack looks around at the others and says, shouldn't we go along for that? Trying to save anyone who was captured?
My understanding
I'll-
of Fluxati is that would be a bit beyond our talents at the moment.
Hold on, I'll find out.
I don't need to see the future. We would be a liability. Unless we had something very specific to offer or do, we would be an inconvenience at best and a risk at most.
You assume a lot of intent. I said I'll find out, not I'll find out if we're going to go follow, wave in the
I
general
wasn't
direction of.
answering you because I have gathered that asking you questions or answering questions you ask has no merit. I was answering our mechanic.
Crack's like watching a tennis game.
I will keep that in mind.
Try and be less of an ambiguous future reading bitch, then.
Avasio just leans over to Ileana. I don't like her either.
Z. There.
Sir.
Eliana is doing more than not liking because Eliana's morality is 15 now and has
Oh yeah, go for
do
it.
direct fucking damage to someone. So
Oh boy.
I think the thing that would make you guys more a liability is less your skills and more your toxicity towards each other.
Oh yeah, that's definitely part of it.
goddamn.
Okay, so what
Sometimes
do
we
I have
punch
to
each other and
counter?
sometimes we hug each other.
I don't know that there's a counter to it. I'm just using
Okay.
bind.
I don't know how these abilities
Use
work.
Let
suppress,
me
damn it.
They're
Take a
not. I
look.
didn't read the details of every force power. in the
Okay,
book.
legit. And this is one of I decided this before this session to take 2 of the more obscure force powers because, I'm me.
What book?
Uh,
What book is bind in?
I'm
It's
trying to
for-
suppress all
here's
this.
here's the text. It's Force and Destiny, page 286. Can spend force points to immobilize a target within short range until the end of the user's next turn. If the user generated any force points, use any dark side points to generate force points on this check, the target also suffers 1 wound, ignoring soak, per dark side point spent on the check.
Yeah.
There are also rules for resisting force power checks when they're used in PvP specifically.
Yep.
And
Okay.
Maurice is
I
trying to
thought
suppress
so.
this fight
yeah.
that is going to break out.
Sorry.
It's all right. I'm just having to jump between lots of different bits of the rules. But
Also,
Nereus, go
I'm
ahead and
winning
roll your
PvP
suppression roll.
game
Cool.
Z
because
started
I'm
it.
starting PvP.
I'm not
Unfortunately,
committing
Red's
that
not
anymore.
Kitty and does not just not care.
Okay. Here we go. Hey, I got
So
one.
you are able to reduce the pool by 1.
I mean, I'm flipping a point.
Ah.
I'm utilizing that light side point.
Yeah.
Which means that I have to do that and take a point of conflict.
So the amount of force points you generate, currently 2, is reduced by 1. So you only
Yep.
generate 1 point.
Mm-hmm.
Now, does that reduce a specific one?
Nope, just reduces the total pool. So you get to pick which one you... Basically, you get to pick which one you...
The light side, because the other one does damage.
Okay, so the light side... So you still take the strain, you still take the conflict for flipping the light
Yep.
side. But you only get 1 point, which means you...
Yeah.
Yeah, if you had gotten 2, you would have been able to suppress both, and it would have completely canceled it out, but...
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Unless you have an upgrade that makes that one better than 1.
I have one that does it adds an automatic difficulty, and one that reduces it by 1.
Yeah, this doesn't have...
yeah.
This doesn't inherently have any difficulty to the roll.
Okay, got it.
So,
Cool.
If you need to check the PvP resisting force powers rules, John, they're on 283.
thank you.
And it applies to both of them.
I like that it's specifically only for PvP.
Well, it's specifically it says when used against another player character or against a non-player character such as a nemesis or an important plot named important rival, etc.
The force
Okay.
power becomes an opposed check. To make a check to oppose, GM consults with the player and determines a skill that attacking player must use as part of the force power check. Okay, so you would be able to improve the difficulty. So it's actually going to be... So hang on, so we're going to have to roll those rolls back real quick.
Okay.
So...
So that means, John, you'll need to flip.
I'll need to flip it back, but I need to determine a skill that you'll be using, Ilyana, and a skill that Red will be using to resist.
This is why there needs to be a bitch skill.
It does. This is also a problem that I have with more freeform elements of games, because it's like, okay, so how do I do things? Well, it becomes an opposed check. Okay, so what do I need to do? Well, you need to decide what skill is being relevantly used. I'm like,
I think in this case, it's almost entirely determined by what's happening. You're not trying to read my mind. You're trying to physically restrain me.
Correct.
So either it's something like cool, or it's one of the more combat.
Intimidation isn't a thing, is it?
It's
coercion.
Resilience used to
Coercion.
resilience.
we're gonna say it's going to be a discipline roll on behalf of Ilyana,
Okay.
Makes sense.
and it'll be diff 2.
And I
That's
add
standard.
my force.
Yeah,
pool
your
to
force pool to it. Yeah, so you basically you would set on the force skill, you would just set the relevant skill
Right.
to discipline and
that. Exactly.
So-
and
And set a
it'll
difficulty of
be
So-
hang on. I need to finish this, Mara. Give me a second.
Yep.
It'll be a cool check for Mara for your suppress
Okay.
thing,
Okay.
difficulty 2. And it'll be a man, Aaron, stop clicking around your character sheet for a second.
Oh, sorry.
I know
I was
that.
trying to look at what I could do back to you, and it turns out resist critical injury is my main thing I can do. Force-wise.
It'll be so dependent on whether or not Nereus is able to suppress the power.
Right.
It'll be a resilience check, difficulty 2 for Red.
Yeah.
Okay.
To be fair, resisting critical injuries that are inflicted by Ilyana would really annoy her.
Okay.
Uh,
So first Ilyana with a
Yes.
discipline check, difficulty 2. Actually, no. First Nereus with a with the cool check,
Cool.
difficulty
Okay.
2.
Okay.
You have to add your force points into it.
Oh, I do.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry.
It's that plus your force points because you are
Got it.
using your power. You're trying to use your power
Okay.
on Ilyana.
Yep.
All right. You didn't fail, so
No.
you do get to. So, do you want to flip that? Because you're a light side user, aren't you?
Yeah.
Hang on, let me fix the dice pool real quick.
Okay.
Where's my thing? There it is. Boom. Okay. So, do you want to use that dark side?
Yes.
All right. So
Uh-huh.
flip a light
Yep.
side, take a strain,
Uh-huh.
generate a conflict.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
You are so Ilyana, your total force points generated by this roll will be reduced by 1.
I'm gonna
Unless you want to upgrade
not,
the difficulty
because I
instead.
can decide.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think is how this works.
Yeah, you
I'm
can-
gonna do it.
You can either increase the difficulty or suppress a point.
Yeah, I'm gonna increase the difficulty because I think I have a better shot at that, and control it only reduces it to a minimum of 1 anyway, which would still cause.
Okay. So,
Yeah. So, I'm
so
gonna-
then
So
it'll be
diff 3 then.
diff 3
Yes.
for Ilyana.
Okay.
And so we're looking for force points to activate, and then it'll be a comparison of your overall roll to Red's to see if it works.
Right. 2, 3. I
Ooh,
mean.
nice.
Okay.
I mean.
Okay.
You
Now,
got a couple extra
Oh,
force
boy.
dice in there.
I will flip that light
oh
side
yeah, you've
point.
got you rolled 4 force die, by the
What
way.
the fuck?
If you roll
was
it
gonna
as a force
say-
power and you put force dice in the
Oh,
pool,
God
it puts
damn
extra
it.
force powers in.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
This is
when
what
did
happens when
when
you make me roll different things.
when did Ilyana join whatever her version of her own personal Jedi Council is?
Okay, well that's still
Okay.
not bad.
Still good. Still good. All right. Now,
And I will flip.
okay. So go ahead and flip that.
Oh, good,
Now,
we have no light side points. left.
Red, give
over
us a
this.
resilience check.
Okay.
Difficulty 2.
2 still.
Yes.
No.
All right. So, bind
After
works.
all
We did
that.
something this game yet.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. All right.
It's simply like a reach out and like just gets wrapped up in nothing or actually that's a good question. I'm pretty sure it's just
You,
horsepower.
I
what you're,
imagine it's somewhat similar to force choke. But how-
Actually,
what you're, yeah,
when-
I
what
think
you're
this is
doing right now is
explicitly
force choke.
I
Right.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's fair.
Corserath,
I guess it is, yes.
Corserath just kind of pinches the bridge of his nose, and then without turning to face the group, the lightsaber is in his hand and turned on.
So you did take 1 wound, unsoakable.
Okay.
And you are currently that admiral from the first movie that dared to question Darth Vader.
Yep.
Yeah. I got a resistance roll. I think that makes me more competent.
Oh no,
than him.
yeah, he wouldn't have gotten a
That's
resistance
fair.
roll at all. So.
Okay.
That is fair.
Mm.
I mean,
What is
technically,
this
I don't
with-
think if we face Vader, any of us are getting resistance rolls. But
It's
you
a-
know,
It's okay.
So
There's still 3,000 some
I
odd
mean,
years
it's
before
hard to
Vader's
read the
born.
expression of someone who is wearing a mask and doesn't have eyes.
yeah,
right?
Ilyana just walks up. I was trying to be nice and talk to the group. Next time you interrupt me when I'm trying to help, I won't be this nice. And let's go.
Is there an exterior physical evidence of what's happening?
Yes.
Yes.
Being
Force
picked up
choke.
slightly.
Yeah, red is
Well,
red
I
is
mean,
red is
there-
red
there-
is red is up on their toes,
Yeah.
Okay.
being choked by an invisible hand.
With like,
Okay.
yeah. I kind of assume you have to do like the whole.
Oh yeah, no, you have to do it.
No, I mean there are gradations of it that we've seen, so I wasn't sure if she
Yeah.
just if Z looked like Z had something all of a sudden caught in her throat, or if it was the
Fair.
full on like levitation.
No, Ilyana is not being subtle about this.
Okay.
And then let's go and backs off.
All right.
Gorserath's lightsaber is just sort of on and in his hand.
Vazia
So-
puts a
Hasn't
hand on
turned to look
Corserath's
at.
shoulder.
Looks over and just call. I'm done.
I think we should maybe talk amongst ourselves. Thank you for the information.
Red, are you all right?
I mean, those of you that are sensitive to the Force, there's just rolling murderous intent.
Corserath turns the lightsaber off, walks over to Red, puts a hand on Red's shoulder, and is going to use heal.
Any answer to Crack's question from Red?
No,
Okay.
absolutely not. At this point, trying to help Crack understand basic things that are happening is exactly what got them.
I'm technically not a light side user yet, so I can't do anything with that.
Yeah.
Oh my
You two
god.
spent all of our light side points fucking each other over.
He did. Well, to be fair, Ilyana spent the light side point fucking you over.
Crack will in response, given that there's no response, will reach out, put his hand on the other shoulder, and Crack will use heal.
Watch Crack roll 2 dark side.
Please, please.
I am barely nicked. Like, I appreciate the
Oh,
thought.
for
but-
sure.
Hey, I just got this power. I want to try to use it.
Fair.
I'm not gonna lie. That's about 40% of why I just did that.
Oh, I don't know why. I
You
had
don't need any
difficulty.
difficulty, but you do succeed in generating a point of healing.
Okay.
Right.
So, Codex,
Right.
watching this whole thing happen, if y'all need a room, and he just points at one of the doors.
Thank you.
Corserath looks over his shoulder. Yes.
I'll be terminating this bunker in. And he looks down at his wrist monitor, at his wrist mounted computer. 20 hours. So, figure your stuff out by then.
Thank you. Herding the group into.
While
Corserath.
they're going in, Crack turns to Nerys and says, "It is very similar to fixing machinery." No context.
Corserath leads everyone into the room.
Right.
The doorway that
Go
you
without argument.
the doorway that you go through leads into a short hallway that then connects into what you are assuming is a holding cell of some kind, because there is definitely a room that is separated by a wall, but it's not like, but like there's a section of the wall that is currently open.
Oh, I'm really resisting the urge to just kick Ilyana in there. I'm not gonna do it. It's not in character.
So
I'm all for it.
Corserath shuts the door behind everyone once everyone is inside.
That would require me having a brawn.
Is this going to continue until someone makes an attempt on someone's life?
Was the lesson learned?
When are you going to learn the lesson? We are in this together right now.
I don't discount anybody's actual abilities, whatever I think of the people.
All right.
That's my issue.
Prove you're competent, and then maybe I'll care.
Okay.
Red, you are very good at digging a very deep hole.
I
You
will
are
let
very competent in that regard.
I will let the witnesses in this room speak to my accuracy.
Oh, I have no doubt of your accuracy.
Do you even want to be here, Red?
Please say no. She says under her breath.
Oh, poor Red.
I'm so sorry.
Not poor Red. Poor Red's brought this on themselves.
I mean, this is me. This is not Ilyana.
Crippling social anxiety and bitching and chronic bitchiness, okay?
No.
I think your ship is beautiful and doesn't deserve any of you.
Unfortunately,
If you guys don't want me here, I don't care. I didn't realize that your cult was going to get blown up so fast. I figured you'd have a chance to talk that over her before, or the inevitable consequences of having a small number of highly force sensitive individuals following a tertiary path caught up with you.
if you seek to spend any amount of time on the ship that is currently owned by us, you're going to have to figure out how to live and exist without causing constant enmity with the owners of said ship.
Do you really think that Shio's beautiful?
Well, you've got one person on your side.
He's not hard.
No, he's gelatinous.
Damn it! I was hoping somebody was not going to go there.
Screw you, voice of
Okay.
the universe.
If your continued presence on the ship is going to continue causing this kind of incident, I will leave you on any individual planet of your choice.
Is it really me you have an issue with?
I have an issue with the conflict you generate. I have less issue with you as a person.
Okay, rephrasing. Do you think the conflict's just generated by me being a mouthy asshole? Or is there something else going on?
I'll put it to you in this regard. Many of us have had personal issues with the idea of determinism originating from someone's ability to predict the future. None of us have quite come to blows over it.
Again, no doubts about the accuracy of the powers. Just as trying to put practical information first. If it's inevitable and you can't do anything about it anyways, why rub it in everyone's face?
Because I don't believe in inevitable, but I do believe in foreknowledge.
To be fair, part of the reason why it's never come to blows is because I could never do that before.
Sarath looks over
Good
at
for you.
Ilyana.
Sorry.
He's getting better at it.
Sarath looks back at Red. I don't believe that anything that is foreseen is impossible to change. But I do believe that having foreknowledge is the best way to ensure the best outcome in any situation. So yes, I do value Ilyana's ability to predict future events.
Very weird to see someone that doesn't actually have eyes make the head gesture of someone rolling their eyes.
Then you know it's intentional only for the effect.
Yes, you know that it is a gesticulation based not on some innate biochemical whatever, but like
And I
an
will
understanding of gesticulation.
And I will further note that Ilyana provides a service that we have no other access to. While we may not have an ace pilot, There are numerous people here who are capable of getting that ship in the air. If you want to continue being the pilot for this ship, I need these fights to not continue to happen. Otherwise, as I said, I will leave you on a planet of your choice. I hear Nar Shaddaa is excellent this time of year.
Never mind.
That definitely changes the sort of crossed arms, eye rolling, sort of half a step closer, even though they're standing quite close. I would honestly prefer if we went off and killed Jedi. But sounds like you're going to kill Sith. Same difference to me. You want practical input from someone who actually knows a bit about killing Sith? I can provide that. Or I can keep my mouth shut. I'm pretty hard to threaten at this point. You told me you're the one who's going to try and kill me if you guys decide I'm not worth it. Go ahead. Try and kill me. Because I certainly will kill you if I have any inclination you're going to drop me back in hut space.
You definitely don't want to start that battle with me.
As Vazia takes a step closer to Red.
Not only because I will kill you in a clash of lightsabers, but also because I will not be fighting you alone.
Jash is over in the corner just twiddling his thumbs.
Avazia's hand on Saber. I will run you through before you can touch him.
The codependent thing is really creepy, I gotta be honest.
Crack awkwardly holds up his hands to everybody involved and said, as Archon Cal was fond of saying, let the entity who has never stripped a bolt set the first nut.
Narrator voice. Archon Cal never said that.
So the question is now, what are we doing next?
Flashback to young Crack working with Cal and Archon Cal saying, no, you stripped the last bolt. I'm not letting you set this nut.
Amazing.
I didn't mean to undercut you, but I couldn't resist. It was just too perfect.
No, Craig undercut himself by means of both the delivery and the saying, if my acting was not sufficient to get that across.
Before we get to what we're doing next, we still need to resolve the issue of, do you intend to stay on this ship?
I don't think it's my vote. I think it's your vote.
I want to know whether you are willing to put the effort forward to not continue to cause these fights.
Both of them.
This does apply to both of you, yes, but one of them has inordinately caused a certain amount of agitation to everyone on this ship.
Is it me?
No, it's not you, Crack.
This time, narrator voice. This time.
This time, yes.
I can promise I won't try to start it. I can't promise that if one gets started, I won't try to finish it. And I think you should understand that.
Can you promise that you won't start something from my perspective because in your perspective, I've already started something?
I don't understand what that means.
Reality is in a different sequence for you.
All right.
Yeah, fine. I can lay off. But I still don't think it's my choice. I'm gonna head out for a bit. I can take your other new companion with me or not.
That is not a good idea.
I'm literally heading into the next room over, dear. And you're gonna decide whether or not you want me here. If you want me here, I would really appreciate an explanation for some of what the fuck is actually going on with the lot of you. Because I don't need to be blindsided with, turns out your droid's force sensitive when I'm trying to fly you out of a war zone.
I told you this.
No, you really didn't.
I
And
did.
Heads, yeah, over to the next room to give the rest of the group some privacy.
Thrash just again pinches the bridge of his nose.
The next room into the prison cell or out of the room and like down the corridor?
Out of the room and down the corridor.
Okay, so you
My
had
understanding was that there was a room and there was a main area that.
yeah, so you head back into the main area where Codex
Yeah.
is. Yeah. Codex is still leaning on the computer, watching now you.
Well, I think that went well.
Gorsrath looks across the group.
Who is crack attacking? Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't see chat.
I was going to say, okay.
Crack looks across the group.
Crack looks across the group.
Sorry, Crack. Yes, god damn it, fucking.
I mean, he does. But...
Korsrath develops move and suddenly just uses it
Turns
to
Crack's
force
head.
Crack's head to turn and look
There's
across.
just a
I do actually have the move power.
Ow. That's right, you do.
This is much easier than normal.
Korsrath looks across the group. Thoughts?
I'm still confused as to outside of, my reaction, what I did wrong.
I mean, the reaction is the gist of it.
Yeah, I think it was the choking part.
I feel like that's not the case with somebody who was part of that situation.
If I had,
I can know how to stop doing one of the things. I don't know how to stop doing the other because I don't know what I did.
From my understanding, Red has a developed distaste for the mysticism that is commonly present among the Jedi Order, which Z seems to perceive in your considerations of the future and perception thereof.
That is very unfortunate for them.
As far as it goes, Z will simply have to learn the difference as far as I am concerned, because I might not agree with determinism, but I don't disagree that you are acting on information as you have it.
Thank you. I will make sure not to start anything again.
If I chant Sith runes first before I look into the future, maybe that'll help.
Yes.
I just want to point out that this is not the first time Ilyana and Red have clashed on
No,
this.
it's absolutely not. It's a but
Yeah.
the last one was them just yelling at each other in an escalating manner.
Well, it just escalated further, that's all.
It,
The escalation continues until morale improves.
the patience sort of has waned away for some.
Hey, my morality is not the one that's currently 15.
That's true.
I didn't say whose morale improves. I just said until morale improves.
It's
So-
Morale and
not
moral are different.
morality.
Yeah.
The at the very least, do not make the first aggressive action again if you can avoid it.
I will try not to.
If they make the if Z makes the first aggressive action, you are more than welcome to react appropriately.
Kursrath, I don't mean to. We carry around lightsabers. If I just let them make the first aggressive action, I might be dead.
Wielding a lightsaber aggressively is a thing that I know you can react to quickly.
All right.
I just looked at the time and realized, and was about to go, oh, I need to start getting logged into work, and then I made myself sad.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm sorry.
dude. Yeah, legit. Group Zoom hug.
Yep.
It's like, oh, it's almost 10:30. It's time to, oh.
I 100% get that. I remember going through that where I would wake up at the normal time and be like, well, I
Yep.
don't have anywhere to
Oh,
be.
yeah.
I know.
Yep.
Earlier today, I thought it was the weekend. I thought it was like, oh, this is a weird Saturday.
Just
Yeah.
don't swing first for the simple fact that if Z swings first, we know where we all stand.
I'll tell you what, I will go out of my way when I eventually foresee that they're going to try and kill me. I will tell you before I shove them out the airlock. So,
I will assist you.
and that does not sound like she's attempting to joke there.
Mhm.
He knows that she isn't, but he still chuckles. Very well. But general opinions as to whether or not Z should even remain on the ship or whether we should leave Zer on another planet.
Eh.
And I believe the preemptive shoving out of an airlock is indeed the origins of the problem.
I'm confused. Have we shoved someone out of an airlock preemptively before?
No. But if I'm
I forget things sometimes. So
the issue with the mysticism that I believe Red has is the idea of acting before the crime has been committed.
I don't understand the problem.
The sensation of determinism that I have mentioned before of you are going to commit a crime, so I'm going to punish you before you've actually committed a crime.
Yeah, still not getting it. Anyway, what I'm saying is Ilyana would do very well in Minority Report. So
It's a big oof from me, girl.
yeah.
I was being completely honest in my notion that Red does provide excellent piloting skills, but we have more people who can get a ship off the ground. What do the rest of you think on regards to whether or not Red should remain on the ship?
I don't see why not.
I'm increasingly learning I'm a poor judge of character. I abstain from this vote.
Vazia will shrug. I hate Zer, but I hate a lot of people. So if everyone else can get along with Red, I'll try.
I look at Nereus.
Yes, it is up to your actions now.
I look at. I'm assuming Jash didn't actually leave the room.
No, Josh is still standing there next to Nereus, kind of
You
close
might
to
be,
the door.
You might be new to the crew, but you are still a member of the Order. Your thoughts?
I believe that as it stands, given what little I've observed as our leader, the fact that the most aggrieved party concerning Red's conduct is willing to allow Zer to stay on the vessel should carry a great deal of weight.
Very well.
Jeremy,
Regardless of the
confused to how Ilyana became the aggrieved party in this.
Right? Like,
Well, let me make sure to clarify.
Yeah.
He specifically said aggrieved by Red's conduct, the one that Red
Okay.
has offended personally the most.
Fair.
Right. Now, from an overarching broad picture standpoint, is Ilyana the most victimized character on this crew? Fuck no.
I'm gonna say, don't call Ilyana the aggrieved party. That's just gonna encourage her.
Oh yeah. And for anybody trying to do a read on the room, yes, Josh absolutely did not vote. He just said, "Here's a salient point," and then shut up.
Very well.
abstained. I hate Zer. Nereus voted something. Ilyana said it's fine.
We have exactly one
Yes.
definite yes and
Yes.
one it's fine, and nobody else voted. So by default,
Such a well
You see
oiled.
why Red thought
Such
there
a
might
well-oiled
be a lingering
machine.
question?
Such a. Everyone works together so well on this crew.
We do.
Hey, Avazian no longer wants to kill Crack. That is
That is certainly a thing.
very well.
To crack it is.
No, that's valid character development.
Crack has 100% less people wanting to murder him.
Crack's looking pretty
Everything's
good right
coming
now.
up crack.
Pretty much.
Then you should pull your pants up if that's the case.
Everything's coming up Tolpa.
That's right.
So, in that case, then, it remains a matter of trying to avoid creating this conflict again. Now, we should actually decide where we are going next. Do you want to take a vision, Ilyana?
Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
Should we ask Red to come back in?
Let
Not
the vision
until I'm
let the
done.
vision happen first.
I meant after. Sorry.
Yes.
I
Yes.
meant after.
we will bring Red back in after Ilyana has had a reading.
I really like the idea of, okay, bring Red back in, and immediately once it, all right, now we're going to sit around and watch Ilyana do a vision.
Avazia will whisper in Korsrath's ear. When we have a moment, I need to speak with you.
Mm-hmm.
That junk. Bump that to 2. Sit down in the corner.
I'm trying, like, we just had like the opposed force power. Now I'm trying to figure out in what situation would you call for an opposed force power roll for foresee.
If you're trying to foresee something
keep your
specific,
sight off.
yeah,
Suppress.
yeah, suppress.
think
Yeah,
is the
if
obvious
someone
choice.
is trying to shelter a specific event.
I'm just picturing two Jedi trying to have a future sight off.
Who can see farther? That's pretty much it.
Well, there's a little more conflict because I want those points.
We don't have.
Motherfucker.
We don't have any light side.
You've given me no reason to flip
What-
a dark side. So
What asshole decided to spend all the light side points?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
It's okay though because it wouldn't have mattered.
because I try to look a day in the future.
You
and
just
there's
get a
nothing
field
there.
of static.
All right, yeah, because we're in a force power zone. They specifically said that's supposed to stop trying. Fucking.
I was waiting for someone to remember that had been said.
To be fair,
Wait, no one else remember? Okay, now Red does look like an asshole. I didn't realize no one else remembered
no,
that.
to be
Sorry.
fair, my interpretation of that was like
Outside looking in.
outside looking in.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's a fair
Not
interpretation.
looking at your own history, own future
Yeah.
while you're in.
And that's a fair
So-
interpretation.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna have to leave first.
All right. Okay. Personal opinions. I will go ahead and tell you right now, being very familiar with Dark Council members, we as a group do not stand much chance in making an
We
actual
should
positive
get Red
impact.
back here while we are
Yes.
discussing things.
Let's get Red back in here.
I will go get Red.
Jash is standing closest to the door. Actually, he's gonna
Okay.
stick his head out.
There you go.
Red is totally not having an emotional breakdown on the chair outside. No, totally calm.
With a chest that shot down two starfighters with a rifle staring them down.
Oh, I can't see that.
Oh,
I'm
I-
not using my sight.
Just
I can't tell where he's looking.
that's the
Okay,
scene.
Can I try to get a read on Red as I walk out there? Then
Yeah.
Cool.
Reading
perception or cool or
cool.
Cool.
Unless
All right.
John wants to change that.
Yeah, it'd be cool difficulty too.
I'm
hey,
just
there's a
rolling
success.
charm because it's one of the presence rolls and I don't have any of them.
Sure.
I think the best way to describe this is, you know, that inevitable scene for Jedi type characters where like Ahsoka is trying to meditate or whatever and eventually just goes fuck it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Red is Red mid fuck it.
Yeah, Red is at the fuck it that is between two attempts at meditation.
Okay, gotcha.
Are we just not doing
That's the most
phrasing
Star
anymore?
Warsy way I can explain this.
We were never doing phrasing in the first place, Greg.
We should
No,
have been.
It's
Oh no, I have just
it's a quote from the show.
every
I know,
sentence
I know.
anyone has said for this specific game is an innuendo, and I don't understand how it happened.
I do.
Jash will just walk up and put his hand on Red's shoulder.
There's a kind of jolt, almost offensive, but
Okay.
you know.
You are still their pilot. Our pilot.
Cool.
They're beginning to plan. So we should probably rejoin them in a moment.
You two out
If you
there.
need-
as you're
Yeah.
saying this, the two of you being out there, you hear the bunker door slide open, and somebody descend down.
And Codex is still in the same room with us
Yeah.
and has been, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, he sort of turns to look over towards the door and raises a hand.
Okay.
Holding.
Can I see who it is coming
Yeah,
in?
there's a figure walking down the steps with what looks like a fairly smaller. So Codex is about 6'2". This figure is probably about 5'8".
Okay.
With what looks like it was originally a white full face helmet that's been splashed with red, wearing a long sort of red cloak that seems to have been wrapped up in multiple places with a black reinforced jumpsuit underneath and a lightsaber dangling on their hip. Was the figure?
Thank you for pre-establishing Corserath's height for me, because I actually never wrote that down.
They sort of this figure steps down to the bottom step, looks over, sees the two of you, looks over at Codex, who just does a hand motion.
Brief nod. And then turns back to Red. When you need to speak, if you want to speak to someone who does not know the specifics of your past, come find me.
There's a nod. And I'm just gonna follow Josh if anything happens, because I can't see all of these hand signs that are happening.
Yep, and Josh will sort of, give just a little bit of a tug on the shoulder, kind of, all right, we're leaving now, and bring Red back into the room.
I'm only tough 3% of the time when I remember that I can do that.
So once everyone is back in the room. All right. So as far as next steps go, I will share my experience regarding members of the Dark Council and say that as a group, we will not be able to make a significant impact in that regard.
Well, we would probably be assisting a strike team.
Yes.
Ilyana raised a hand.
Ilyana.
What if we get control of a really, really, really big ship and just ram it right into them?
Wow, that would be impressive. I don't think that's anything we would be providing specifically.
Fair.
Also, of all the Dark Council members that could pull a Star Killer, Flexati is that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Red will raise a hand.
Red.
I would like to offer the insight that the Jedi have found crashing Star Destroyers into Sith doesn't necessarily kill them, and sometimes they can grab them.
And of all of the Dark Council, Fluxati would be the one to be able to do that second part.
I mean, fair.
We have tried that before.
I think in this particular case, the specifically non-force sensitive brand of force sensitive assassins that Codex appears to have a certain level of experience with would likely be the best equipped to deal with a Dark Council member. Codex has the capacity to enact anti-force contingencies without having to rely on the Force himself. And that level of skill set is more of what would be necessary to kill someone like Fluxati. And we do not have anything near that level.
I can't argue with that, but surely there's something productive we can be doing somewhere.
We can, absolutely. And my
Just not
suggestions would be that we should begin gathering and contacting what members of the Order we know were not on the Aeon Cutter at the time of its attack. I think we should be finding our contacts on Coruscant and Alderaan.
Good. Does the Order have allies of which we're aware, or would our contacts there be the only ones who would know that?
Do I have an answer to that, GM?
Make a lore check, difficulty 2.
Can I try that too?
Yeah, go ahead.
You
Three successes. One threat.
The Twilight Order does have ties to some of the more aligned organizations, not the Jedi specifically, but for instance, Cassilian is a former Green Jedi, which are the Corellian Force users that are the Green Jedi Order is very specifically a not the Jedi Order, but they are the Jedi Order for Corellia. So yeah, you know Cassilian was a member of the Green Jedi. You know the Barando Sages. I think it's Barando Sages. Are a neutral affiliation that some members of the Twilight Order either came from or have contacts with. There are a few other not quite polarized orders that the Twilight Order does have some connection with.
I know of a handful of potential allies outside of the Order that we might be able to reach out to, but I would rather have an Archon there to make any of those contacts.
Understood.
know what your Archons were doing, right? Even if you don't have their contact information.
Yes, we know what their tasks were on Coruscant and Alderaan.
That could make it easier to find them, especially if they might recognize you.
Indeed. If anyone else has any ideas, I'm open to listening to them, but my immediate suggestion of our next step should be to find and inform the Archons we know how to find.
Then we should decide which location we wish to reach first.
My personal vote would be for Alderaan.
Can I make a roll to see what Jash knows about the Alderaan situation and which Archon is there?
Sure. I'm gonna make a lore check difficulty. Actually, education check difficulty 2.
Okay.
I'm not disagreeing, but why is that? Out of curiosity.
Because Coruscant is far closer to, well, it is the seat of Republic space and is thus innately more dangerous for us as individuals, and I would rather we be more prepared going there.
I mean, clearly the solution here is to split up into two groups. One group going there, one group going there. I'm trying to get revenge on John for Aaron because the amount of times that we did that in the Star Wars game.
We're gonna follow two entirely separate plot lines on two entirely separate planets.
You act like that would be the first time you guys have done that when I'm GMing.
This is fair.
Jash. So you know that Alderaan's in the middle of a civil war. You know that specifically Roland Pantier is the Archon that is there, who is trying specifically to restore power to the Pantier family, who were deposed from power by the current by the Ulgos, who are currently sort of usurping the Pantier throne on Alderaan.
Current regime in power, yeah.
He's trying to restore power to the fallen regime, primarily because if the Ulgos maintain their power, then Alderaan will go to the Sith Empire, and if the Organas take power from the Ulgos, then it'll fall to the Republic. And he doesn't want Alderaan to become a casualty in the greater galactic civil war, because in addition to just being a wealthy planet, it is also a very wealthy resource. It has plenty of abundant natural resources and a lot of natural landscape and wildlife that would be a very appetizing target for either faction should they join one or the other.
The irony of the Olgos being Imperial aligned is hilarious for anyone who played Knights of the Old Republic. Trask's family are dicks.
Clearly, what we need to do is wipe out the Organa family, because that will have no implications on anything at all going forward.
You know, we could just blow up
There
Alderaan.
are so many lost
could just
princes
blow
in
up
Star Wars
Jack
that
beat me to
it's
it.
probably a non-issue.
We could just blow up Alderaan. That is true.
Then Jash
No,
will
you
sort
need
of
a
lead in.
really big laser cannon. We
All
cannot
right.
find a laser cannon.
And a lot of kyber crystals.
We've got a pallet of grenades.
That is not enough to blow up a planet.
I'll see what I can
A
do.
palace, maybe. A planet, no.
What we need to do
but-
is
but
get our new
actually
Sith
happening.
friend angry enough at the planet, and then the planet will clearly be cut in half.
What Jash will actually say, contacting Archon Pantir then would probably be our most logical form of approach to Alderaan, and would give us, for those of us that might be feeling the need to strike out at the Sith in a more general sense, in the wake of what's happened to the cutter, we would at least have some targets there.
I think of the two options, Alderaan is further from the Republic and closer to where those of us who desire to can take action to harm the Sith Empire.
And for those of us that don't particularly feel an affiliation or an enmity towards either side, maintaining the neutrality of a world, giving the chance for hopefully some people to exist outside the machinations of the two primary political factions.
Is anyone opposed or have a better plan?
Not at the moment.
I would prefer not to go to Coruscant, as it is technically my home world.
Easily avoided then.
For now, we may need to go there eventually.
We'll cross that hyperspace lane when we come to it.
Look at you adapting idioms.
Right? I hear there's a really
I feel like I
cool-
adapted that one better than Crack did his.
I hear there's a really cool planet, like right at the center called Biss. We should definitely go there.
See, just from the way you say that, I don't need to look up my Star Wars lore that I've forgotten to say no.
That
the
is the
thing-
planet that will eventually become the Emperor's home world.
Right. Okay.
The,
no.
the issue with that is if you stare too long into Biss, it stares back at you.
Yeah, God. We understand George Lucas does not lane things subtly.
Elan Sleaze Bagano. So, if that is decided, do we need rest or should we get out of here?
We've been resting for several days. I think we should get moving again as soon as possible. Said Crack, who has not slept since they left the Aeon Cutter.
Dissenting opinions?
Before we head out, I do need to speak with you.
I also need to speak with Codex.
Sooner we get out of this area, the better. I have a headache.
Eliana, would it help to be back on the ship? You and I could return and start I could begin the departure preparations. If it would be.
Probably. Depends on how far that thing carries.
Well,
Can't hurt. That's not true. It can hurt.
Well, and there is also the question of apparently there are some rather significant endemic predators here, and I would hate to see the two of you wander off by yourselves and become snacks.
Yes.
By
That's
the
not
way,
eaten by Varn.
Codex has another guess, I think.
Yes. Thank you for reminding me.
Who?
No.
Force
Like-
user of some type, carried a lightsaber at least. Came in
Like-
from the outside shortly, a while ago.
Considering the setup of this place, likely another member of Black Pyramid.
Correct. When is possible, we'll pop his head out to see if he can see the person.
Yeah, there's an individual sort of has taken up a position next to Codex that looks like, for all the world, I'm trying to think of what movie it was that I saw this happen.
Night of the Roxbury.
No.
Night at the
I
museum.
feel like it was a Marvel movie or something, but anyway, as doing the thing that younger people will do around parental figures, where they're sort of mimicking positioning. Like this figure has set up slightly further down the console from Codex and has adopted the same like sort of lean back position that Codex has.
Oh,
That
okay.
does
Like
not that does not
like
discount Night
Sheriff
at the
Brody's,
Roxbury.
right? Like Sheriff Brody's kid in Jaws.
Yeah, legit.
Okay.
All I'm saying is that Codex is just doing this a little bit. That does not discount my
No.
Night at the Roxbury.
It's particularly unsettling for Crack as he picks his head out, because Codex is completely unmoving with his red eyes staring at Crack right now.
Hello.
I assume you're not
Any-
done because everyone hasn't come out yet.
We heard that there was a new arrival.
Yep. I'll introduce you when you're all done.
Okay, I'll wait here. Crack comes out and just stands by the door.
Wrath looks at the rest of them. Judging by that conversation, let's get out there. Of course, Wrath starts to head out to the main room.
Yeah.
Vazia will pull him back into the room if everyone else is going out.
Yep.
When you get
Yeah.
out there, Ilyana, the figure leaning against the console next to Codex is one of the figures that you saw previously in one of your visions. Specifically, the one with the purple lightsaber.
You.
The helmeted head looks up. Me.
You.
Me.
What is it this time?
I think I've seen them.
On a wanted
Right?
poster?
What?
On a wanted poster?
No,
Damn
talking
it.
to someone. I don't know who though.
He crosses his arms again, slightly huffier than he had them previously.
Meanwhile, back in
Same.
this room,
Mm.
Wrath looks at Avazia.
I have been observing Codex. Do you know what I'm about to say to you?
I have suspicions.
Mm. I was observing both of you earlier. And I believe he is your father. If
That would
not,
not surprise
someone
me.
related to you.
Considering the statement Nibashuza gave us when he first rescued us from
Mhm.
your home world, it would not surprise me.
I had my suspicions when you were first sent the plans to get here, but I wasn't sure until he took his helmet off.
I wouldn't put it past my mother to choose a Chiss simply for the renowned intellectual and mental prowess of the species as a potential genetic bank for an assassin child.
Turns out when you mix red and blue, you get burgundy. It's really weird.
Burgundy, which is a shade of purple, like that kid's lightsaber.
Color
It's all
mixing in Star Wars.
It's all connected.
Sorceress related to that kid's lightsaber?
Yes.
Let me pull out my cork board.
I need to get a cork board and hang it right here.
Corserath is 7% lightsaber on his mother's side.
Mm.
With 22% thermal detonator on the other side.
That would explain a lot.
Wouldn't it?
You said you needed to speak with him.
I do.
May
He'd been looking for, at my request, potential deprogramming methods.
Would it be all right if I came with you?
Of course. But let's go see what he has to say to all of us first.
Yes.
You join the rest. Right. So, this is Ronan. He says, thumbing his finger towards the masked individual.
That Ronan?
Codex looks, for the first time, you get a look of puzzlement on Codex's face. What do you mean that Ronan? And then Ronan goes, yes, that Ronan.
Huh. Okay.
Codex looks over and then back. What do you mean that Ronan?
Remarkably poorly informed for an information broker.
Corserath looks over at Red. What was the history here? I don't think we ever got that story.
Oh, yeah. It didn't seem important because this is a person that... and much more quietly, probably Avasia can hear because I assume Avasia is not going to let me close to Corserath alone.
No.
But trying not to be heard from across the room. Target from my previous career.
That makes more sense.
There are some people who are interested in you.
Yeah, I mean, I'd hope so. I've been doing all manner of raiding all up and down the galactic, hyperspace lanes. Codex just reaches out and smacks the back of Ronan's helmet. And it's a ping! Ow!
Had that coming.
Yeah, I deserve that. It's scary how you can do that without me knowing you're about to do that, by the way, he says, looking at Codex.
Yeah, doesn't it suck?
Yes!
I like this one.
From my understanding, that's part of his job.
Okay, that's what you mean by that, Codex. That's what you mean by that, Ronan. Got it. Yes, this is Ronan. He's an operative with our organization, and also has been making a bit of a name for himself, harassing Republic and Sith trade routes. Useful for gathering information and supplies, and also for making a boogeyman. Ronan goes, I'm good at it, too.
You wouldn't be useful if you weren't.
Right, so have you all made a decision?
We're going to head to Alderaan and try and contact one of our Archons.
Good. Well, when we get ready to terminate this base's functionality, we'll walk you back to your ship and part ways there then.
Mm-hmm. I need to speak with you privately as well.
Sure. And I'd recommend nobody try to leave the base on your own. The Varns get the Varns are very good at ambushing on seemingly impossible to ambush areas.
How do you stop them?
I have a device that we've developed that emits a particular frequency that they can't stand and keeps them at a good distance.
May I see one?
He holds up his right hand.
May I have one?
No.
May I study one?
No.
Do you have schematics?
No.
Do you have notes?
No.
A rough
Horse
sketch
Rat
on the back of a
mentioned needing
napkin?
some
No.
privacy. Horse Rat mentioned needing some privacy and gently guiding track back to the other room.
Codex actually just sort of motions towards Corsarath and moves through the other door,
Ah, fair enough.
leaving
Brad looks over it.
leaving Ronan at the computer, just sort of again with that same pose that Codex was doing.
Of course, Wrath looks over her shoulder at Avazia and nods and
She'll nod and follow.
heads into the room.
The room that you follow Codex into seems to be like a combination bedroom supply room. You have now seen 2 beds in this entire place, which seems like this is a purpose-built bunker of some kind. Considering that there's only 2 members of the Black Pyramid that you've seen on base. Coming in, as he steps in, he reaches over and grabs a data pad, and turns around and just sort of tosses it to you.
Catch.
I believe that's the information you were looking for on deprogramming. There's a couple different ways that you can go about it, one of which is a little bit harder than the other. But
Of course,
information's
looks down at the data pad.
it's a listing of project names and site and like numbers and citations. It seems like this is a list of various Republic and Sith Empire brainwashing projects and notations about which ones would be more effective. The idea generally is to brainwash yourself against being brainwashed. If you provide your own programming to override any existing programming.
Well, Mother was thorough. It would take very thorough methods to get around her.
There's a couple of the Republic and Sith Empire are both approaching this problem from various different angles to keep their agents from being captured and turned on them by the opposing factions. So, depending on basically where you want to go to break into a research lab is going to be your best bet. I'd offer the option that I used, but it's no longer available because I made sure to end it.
When was that?
When you're in Imperial Intelligence, they like to leave controlling phrases. So I had to rid myself of the impulse.
Was that how Mother managed to get a hold of you?
Yep.
I apologize for that, if nothing else.
It's not your fault.
Do you have a recommendation?
The Republic side uses cybernetics. The Sith side uses force powers. I'd recommend the cybernetics.
Harder to get around.
It's hard to Jedi mind trick a computer.
I'll look into it then.
As your friend probably figured out, he's sort of nodding back towards the room, and you get the hint. He's directing that at Ilyana.
Though, how effectively can that be hacked from a more traditional standpoint?
They'd have to jam a spike into your brain.
So difficult in the first place.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, if you're unconscious, it's easier, but...
As it turns out, once you start going down this road, even if it wasn't by your own hand, it's very hard to get off of it.
Mm-hmm. Anything else?
No. I think that's it. And just like that, you've provided more for me than my other parent.
Well, you know, it's a really low bar.
Catastrophically. Well, to be fair, you've also provided significantly more than just this, if Nibashusa's reasoning was anything to go by.
He just shrugs.
Supposedly, he pulled us off of the planet that was being bombarded by the Republic as a favor to you.
Probably.
You two are very similar.
Codex just looks over. Really? I figured the skin would be the biggest issue.
I meant
There is a grin.
personality.
Both him and Korthrath grin at the same time. We should get going. It was nice speaking to you.
Well, you still got a little while. Like I said, we have preparations to make here before we leave, and you really don't want to cross that wasteland by yourself. And
I appreciate the assistance.
he holds up his hand. Proprietary technology, not passing it out.
Understood, even if Crack does not.
Eh,
I don't think Crack knows the meaning of proprietary, actually.
he might. Just not the importance.
Crack is currently a piece of technology which he cannot have precious. He would have he's the precious.
When you have the only piece of technology that keeps you safe from the native wildlife, you keep it.
Back in the other room, Craig is just constantly leaning in. Codex is like, stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
That's when he just hits you with a stun gun and just. Anyways. All right, well, want to rejoin your friends?
We should, before they get too suspicious of why we're standing around here talking.
You say that as if they're not already.
I mean, they are. But.
So.
Liana probably knows.
Oh no, Ilyana can't use any of her force powers in this room. Well, none of her future sight things. I built this place specifically to stop precogs, so.
At which point, you can't see it, you just hear.
I just always think of her as knowing everything.
Well, the people that think they know everything are sometimes the easiest to trick, so.
Good to know.
That was actually the number one method of my training.
Anyways. The three of you come back out. Was anybody doing anything while that conversation was going on in the main room? Other than Ilyana randomly blowing raspberries.
I'll be talking to Ronan, hopefully. Do you know where you are going next? What you are doing?
Nope. I don't make those decisions because I run my mouth.
Right.
That's...
Silence. That's it. That's all. You guys had very specific goals, and nope, it's not worth it. I'm not gonna have this. I'm not gonna make small talk.
So this is Zayon in Star Wars.
Kind of, yeah.
I was going to say there probably was some very interested watching as Ilyana was trying to see how Nerys was going to try to small talk. Ooh, this should be fun.
Yeah, no.
Aries apparently does not small talk ever.
Yeah, no.
It's
I'm-
it's like watching a cat figure out how to operate a computer.
there's a video game about that. Kind of.
An actual cat and an actual computer.
Trying to code a translation device for some guy's cat, but anyways, it's a weird video game, mostly about coding. So yeah, Ronan, in response to Neri's silence, yeah, no, I'm more the muscle guy in this operation, more than the brains and thinking. I just sort of am told what to do, given a target, and I make sure that target goes away. Blows imaginary smoke off of a finger gun.
I see. So, what's the biggest thing you blew up?
Well, there was, and he goes on about talking. He just starts going off, and you get the sense that he basically operates as a privateer for the Black Pyramid, where he will he will fly very small fighter ships into the hangar bay of very large ships and disable them from the inside out, mostly by using a lightsaber.
Interesting.
There's a brief moment of interest until Ilyana realized that she missed the fact that the word "up" was included in that, and then she stops paying attention.
I will goad enough of that conversation to keep it going, because I have a feeling this guy is going to keep going on.
And he will. And as he's talking, yeah, you learn he knows nothing about plans.
Shit. Okay.
His handlers know exactly who he is and do not give him any information that might be told to others.
Your expert attempts at espionage are for naught.
But eventually, Codex, Corserath, and Avasia return to the room. All right, so again, we're going to be setting this place to melt down in a few hours. So if you guys need to rest, sleep, eat some food, there's some rations in the back there. He says, pointing at the back wall where there's like some small lockers.
Corserath looks over at Red. See, rations are just a standard.
Can we assist at all with your preparations?
Nope.
Right.
Corserath sits down and starts poring over this datapad.
Yeah. So yeah, you find out it, like I said earlier, it's mostly just a bunch of project details and project files.
What planets or space stations are these projects being performed on?
So the Republic projects are spread out across a couple of different Republic worlds. Coruscant obviously has one of the more advanced technology projects, but they're also working on one of these projects on Taurus, and they have one going operating in Nar Shaddaa. The Sith projects are universally on Dromund Kaas, all three of them, just various locations around Dromund Kaas.
Mm-hmm.
Here.
Well, that pretty handily eliminates all the Sith projects.
I mean, you could theoretically sneak onto Dromund Kaas.
Yeah, and then getting anything done without getting noticed is a whole different problem. Coruscant is a theoretically open trade world. Dromund Kaas, not so much.
No, but you are Sith, so.
Nah.
So that's the general locations of it. This is mostly tracking data. It doesn't have any of the like core project details, so you're not going to get any relevant information without going to any of these locations. But you do get a basic overview of each project, which includes the location and the scientists working on it.
Josh is eating because he's bored.
You eat that fairly basic, bland, tasteless ration block.
Avazi is just reading over Corserath's shoulder.
Corserath will mark down the ones on Coruscant because that's already a place we need to go eventually, and the one on Taurus because it is, of the three, not in hut space.
No, it's not. I mean, neither is Coruscant, but...
Yeah, but hut space is a specific problem that has already been established.
Yeah. The Codex seems to just be busying himself with the computer, and Ronan seems to be very specifically chatting up anyone who wants to, but in a manner that means he's keeping an eye on all of you.
Mm-hmm. I will see if, without prompting, any of his exploit stories line up with stuff that I knew.
Yeah, you definitely learn a few more details about the raiding that he's been doing on Republic transports, which was specifically the thing you were sort of sent out there as a hunter for.
Yeah.
He seems to be very interested to know if there are any like Republic bounty posters. It seems like getting a officially posted bounty is one of his dreams.
I feel ya. Me, not Ilyana. Me.
I'm not saying anything. Did I see any when I was...
Yes, Ronan does. There are bounty pucks with Ronan's face on them.
Cool.
Well, his helmet. No one's seen his face.
Okay. Good to know. Not mentioning it, though. That gives away too much about me.
He will also occasionally flip his lightsaber around his hand. You can tell by looking at it that it's designed to be held in a reverse grip. Just from the way that the triggering the switches are positioned and the slight curve of the grip. And he seems to whenever he's bored, he seems to just do like, you know, like some people will do like pencil spinning or pin spinning. He does that with his lightsaber. Just in his
walking the coin.
Yeah, just with his left hand, he'll just flip the lightsaber around constantly as he's having conversations. But unless anything else is happening, a few hours passed. You all get some rest. Enough time passes that you'll heal that one wound that you don't have anymore because it was already healed. And any strain that anybody had will have gone away. All right, Codex says before picking up his helmet, putting it back on, locking it in place, and thus activating the voice modulator again. Time to go. Everyone head out front.
Mm-hmm.
You all exit.
Follow the group.
Yep.
Codex being the last one out, he comes out, again, not carrying anything other than the rifle that he carried in. And as he does, as the door closes, as the hatch in the ground closes behind him, he begins walking towards the ship. And after he makes a few steps beyond the rest of you, there's a... and that area of ground just collapses in on itself.
I'd like to watch the gauntlet and see if I can monitor for frequencies on the way back, just to pick up what he's doing to
Sure.
put the Varn away.
Give me a perception check, difficulty 2.
As I monitor frequencies.
Well,
with
you're
my-
watching the gauntlet first.
Okay. 2. One success, one threat.
So you're able to pick up the pattern at which he activates whatever it is he's activating. Now you can give me a computer's check, difficulty 3.
Okay.
You gonna flip any dark side on us at any point?
No. It's more dark-sided to not.
3 success, 1 threat.
I'm saving it. So looking through your sort of signal finder that you're using to just sort of like scan for what's happening every time he activates it, and it just seems to be a generating a wide burst electromagnetic frequency that is generating sound and also electromagnetic waves that are expanding out to a great distance and are specifically tuned to a frequency that seems to bother the creatures of this planet. The technology, you're not really able to reverse engineer the technology. It seems like it's probably something integrated into the suit he's wearing. But you do have the frequency for whatever that's worth.
Okay, great.
If you wanted to build something that could emit that frequency yourself.
Yeah, that's specifically what I wanted anyway, just to get the frequency.
Yep. You have the frequency.
Excellent. We know how well Crack does making things make noise.
But
like slave collars.
after a little while, you all get back to your ship. Though you can't really tell that it's there, the manta rays that settled over it seem to be making it look like a mountain. Like there's just like sort of like a spire of rock where your ship was. After a few button presses on the forearm computer, and they decloak, now appearing once again as these giant manta rays lift off and settle back down onto the ground on either side of the Shio. All right. Good luck in your travels. Looks over at Course Wrath. You know how to contact me if you want to provide an update or get new further information.
Indeed.
Can we take one of those? Crack points at the manta rays.
No.
Crack, do you know what proprietary means?
Yes, of course.
Do you know what the point of it is?
Define point.
Corsarath looks at Codex and just smirks.
You can't tell if there's a reaction behind the mask.
I will head back to the ship.
Let's get going.
Nereus, as we approached and we're seeing that we couldn't see the ship, had turned on their because I think my the vision things in my head, the electro binoculars,
Yes.
can do like infrared and stuff like that.
Yep.
I wanted to see if those were picking up as odd on my thing, if I noticed anything else as we're going along.
With infrared on, they seem to take on. They seem to have the with your thermal vision on. They seem to have taken on the same temperature as their surroundings, as far as the thermal thing. They seem to have some sort of thermal camouflage.
Got it. So I can't tell they're there.
Yeah.
Or the ship's there until it lifts off. Okay.
Precisely.
Okay. Right.
Also, while you're using your macro binoculars, you do get a bit of static whenever he triggers the warding signal.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Good luck.
Same to you.
Stay safe out there.
Try not to die.
I make a habit of it.
Call if you need anything.
Will do.
Send me your technical specifications.
No.
Crack pouts a little bit, but gets onto the ship.
We
enjoy all that stuff that's going to happen.
We have
Or
similar.
don't.
We have
Sure.
similar goals. I'm
I'm
assuming
not your
that
boss.
you and the Order have worked together in past. Feel free to call on us if you need us.
Not me and the Order so much as me and very specifically one member of the Order.
You can at least count one other member.
All right, get going. You guys apparently have quite a journey ahead of you.
To Alderaan it is, then. Corsarath will head on to the ship.
As
Ozzy follows.
as the group of you head on, you get up into the pilot seat or get up into wherever you're going. If anybody looks out, like through sensors or through the cameras, the next time any of you get a chance to look out a window, they're not there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They're very good at disappearing. Yes, you're back on the ship.
Of course, Wrath will head up to the cockpit.
Red's
right.
doing the sort of flight preparations.
All right. Let's get to Alderaan then.
I wasn't being evasive. I just didn't think it was the right place to give all the details. My role as a Padawan was to track down and investigate and eliminate threats and dark side affiliated entities. Ronan was the next name on my list when the Republic ship I was with. Yeah.
I've mentioned our roles were similar.
I figured, but in light of recent conversations, additional transparency can't hurt, even if I figured you'd assume.
Still good to know.
No. Not much else I can offer with that, but
I think it's time we left this dust rock behind.
yeah, let's do it.
Who wants to make the astrogation roll?
Not
will.
Course Wrath.
Me.
All right.
Difficulty 2.
Go gadget crabbots.
Because you're not on this planet is not connected to any major hyperlane, so you have to navigate.
Yes. Okay. They have a skill of 3, so they upgrade it 3 times, right? 3 advantage, no success.
All right, you make a chart. You chart a course that you think will get you guys back to a hyperspace lane.
Cool.
At which point you'll then have to use. Then you can use the navicomputer to navigate to Alderaan, but you have to get back to the hyperspace lane first. Because right now you're in an area the navicomputer does not recognize as being an area.
Well, you're certainly here. Mm.
The nav computer is just repeating, please return to the highlighted route.
Yeah,
Please return
basically.
to the highlighted
Oh
route.
my god.
Alley. You're on alley. Got that one.
I'm not in an alley, god damn it!
Or parking.
Or looks like you're in the middle of this lake. Well, obviously no, but
I mean, it's to be fair to the computer, it is not obviously no. The computer doesn't know that it's not being soaked.
So we take off.
That doesn't work until we can teach computers to feel things. And as we know, that's the worst idea in the world.
Or the
oh,
best.
don't be mean to Nere's is pseudo species.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about programming computer and robots to feel pain.
We already do that.
I know. Why?
Shits and giggles.
Sorry, yeah. Do you need a roll or?
No. Yeah. Actually, piloting space difficulty 2, as my
Cool.
as my mouth begins to betray me too.
Because of
Are
pain
you
response.
upgrading that, or are there any other factors?
No upgrades. Just the handling, which gives you 2 setback dice.
Right. Because I rolled well before remembering that.
I know what you were about
Hey,
to say.
even
the
better.
ship
and
is a
that
beautiful
fact-
clunker. 2 triumphs, 3 successes. Because fuck you, I'm a good pilot.
Fair. William, I know what you were about to say, and that does not apply because you can have the same physical and logical reaction thought without the actual sensation of the pain.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I'm trying to find out which route I need you guys to be on. Because all the hyperspace lanes are named, but the name isn't consistent between the Outer Rim and the core worlds. So
No,
you have
it's
to
like
actually, like...
It's like crossing
I
a county
don't-
line. There's one right.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's like how all of our highways have both state highway names and
hate
and
it.
U.S. highway names.
Okay.
The worst.
So, it'll take
The
you...
good thing about California, we're too fucking big for that shit.
It'll take you a day to get to the next hyperspace lane.
Okay. Well, we're just going for the next day, and we should be able to make an actual jump from somewhere. Assuming Navicomputer worked out. Actually, can I spend those 2 triumphs to ensure that if the Navicomputer isn't actually taking us to a lane, that I'm alerted of any dangers?
Yeah, you spend those 2 tries to make sure you don't accidentally run into a star.
Great.
Or
Good.
accidentally drop out of hyperspace into a star, I should say.
Yeah, that is ideal.
Also, Aaron, I-5 blatantly disagrees with you. We do not call it the Golden State Highway.
What I mean is that the name is consistently one or the other.
Yeah.
Well, it's like how it's like our Highway 78 out here in Snellville has like 3 different names depending on where you're at. Though it's consistently Highway 78, but it'll be, Main Street or Athens Highway or like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Georgia 20.
or Georgia, yeah, or a different like
It's like it's US 78 no matter where you're at.
Yeah.
But where you're at, it'll have a different secondary or third name.
yeah.
Yeah.
But so you have a day before you hit the next hyperspace lane.
Corsarath will look down at where Red is sitting. Since we have a day, do you feel like a sparring match?
Sure. Sort of make sure the ship will be fine, and then head over to the restored sparring area.
So you head over to the hangar.
For the DM's edification, Corsarath is using this sparring match as a demonstration.
Okay.
That's ominous.
So what's your defense, Red?
Fozzie is going to watch this.
Hell yes. Hell yes.
Hey, I'm not actually all that bad at combat. This is the character I built to do things. I'm just not William levels of good at doing.
This is the equivalent, like this is the equivalent of the scene in The Matrix where it was like Neo's fighting Morpheus, and everybody wherever they are is suddenly like.
Nereus isn't, but yeah, I get you.
I have 1 ranged, 0 melee.
All right.
Apparently.
So
Easy.
we'll get a lightsaber difficulty 2, and I'm going to flip a dark side to upgrade the difficulty.
Cool. So
Actually, yeah, no, I'm just gonna upgrade the difficulty because that's funnier.
difficulty upgraded once, and then so duelist training, I get a boost die for that. I get.
Oh, that's right. I have abilities. I forgot about those.
You are fighting one person, so your curved hilt gives you that extra advantage.
Yep.
For the first round, I'll fight nominally straight and fair. We'll see how it goes.
And you can start queuing up all your things while Williams will be rolling first, but you'll also be rolling a lightsaber attack with difficulty 2. Actually, William, what's your defense?
3.
Melee defense?
Yeah.
So with 3, so difficulty 2 with 3 setback dice.
I'll go ahead and use a light side just to upgrade my attack roll.
Where is your 3 melee defense coming from? Just so I realize
it is two of it is from my lightsaber has defensive 2. 1 of it is from my armor.
So your
Okay,
armor
so-
so your armor won't stack your melee defense. You get the higher of the two, so you have 2 melee defense.
Defensive weapons apply that on top of your armor. I
No,
believe.
they don't. You take you take whichever one's the higher for that defensive element. So like if your armor so that's a good time to explain it. So if your armor gives you ranged defense and melee defense, and your weapon gives you melee defense, but not ranged defense, you get the whichever defense is higher for that category. So you'd get the 2 from your weapon, not the 1 from your armor, but you'd still have the 1 ranged from your armor, not the 0 from your weapon.
Okay,
Hang on.
good news. Because William's rolling first, I don't have quite as many things helping me.
It is a rule that is easy to miss. It is in the it is on page.
Here's the difference, though. The defensive quality does not provide a defense rating. It increases your defense rating.
Wait, defensive is melee?
Let me
Yes.
take a look.
Oh, then I have 1 melee, 0 ranged.
Okay, so you have 1 setback die to your attack, William.
Sorry.
That's fine.
Yeah, the defensive quality does not provide a melee defense. It increases your defense rating.
So yes, it increases your defense rating, meaning it provides you with defense. Multiple sources of defense do not stack. The defensive trait is a source of defense. It does not stack.
All right, we've got a GM ruling for now. We can sort through the book later.
You can find the information on the ruling on page 213.
William, you're still a combat monster,
Yeah.
even if you have 1 less defense.
Yeah.
And we know that you're better at optimizing characters than me.
So yes. So you have your difficulty 2, 1 setback die, lightsaber attack, and plus all your bonuses. And Red's is difficulty 2, 2 setback die,
Mm-hmm.
plus all your bonuses.
Oh, my bonuses only kick in if I'm trying to deal a critical wound, unfortunately. If I crit, I fuck you up.
This is basically a lightsaber attack roll, so
Yes.
we'll just go ahead and use that. And yeah, I'll go ahead and flip that light side back.
And I'll also be spending a dark side to upgrade the difficulty of yours as well, Red.
Okay.
Frown.
Okay. You want me to roll, or
Yep.
is there anything else?
Yep, go ahead and roll.
Well, we're not that unevenly matched.
No. So, as you begin your spar, Corsarath, you do get the initial jump on Red with your offense, but Red is very capable of defending against your offense, especially because Red has 2 blades with the double-bladed lightsaber pike. The 2 of you sort of dance back and forth across the hangar, and every time you seek to exploit an opening, Red's defense is there. Every time except for 1 time, a little bit further in, you manage to just get in close enough that you use the defensive pommel on your sword to bat away an attempted parry and bring the lightsaber in, stopping just here, right next to the neck.
Definitely acknowledges the hit. Does Corsarath seem inclined to keep going, or
If you so desire.
Right.
okay?
Another round of attacks.
I'm gonna try and throw something fun into the mix because I took this stupid power and it was expensive and it will eventually be vaguely relevant to a situation.
Will it though? Will it?
So I make a force roll, and if I succeed, I can do an
So
invisibility.
it'll be an opposed force roll. So you're going to have a discipline difficulty 2 with that force roll, and Corsarath will have a resilience difficulty 2 in response.
course it's discipline. No, that is fair. That's what it.
And I apply my force rating as well.
No, this is just your discipline flat. The force die in this case don't add successes. They just are determined to
I'm
activate the
flipping
power.
that light side back now, which is why I didn't flip it before.
Cool. I'm going to flip 2 to upgrade the difficulty of both your rolls.
Cool.
And then we compare.
And 1 force die. Yeah. There we go. And I am still technically a light side user.
All right, so you are able to activate it. And now we see what William's resilience roll will be.
Not going to be as great. Still got a success, though. And an
A
advantage.
success, but not enough to counteract the 2 successes.
So after that sort of nod and the separate back out to begin the next clash, red just fizzes out of your vision.
Right. So we're going to say that gives Corserath another setback die and an automatic upgrade to the difficulty of this next round.
Cool.
Okay. Are you going to also upgrade with the dark side as well?
Yeah. Both of you.
Okay.
I will spend a light side then.
You know what? I'll spend one this time too.
And as the as Corserath notices the misdirection effect, he will just smirk and clench his left fist as the Shoto in his gauntlet activates, and I get the accuracy bonus of my secondary weapon.
Fair.
So you're attacking with the secondary weapon?
Well, I'm dual wielding, and I get the accuracy bonus of having the secondary weapon because my normal weapon does not provide accuracy.
Hang on, let me double check something real quick. Because I don't think that works unless you're using that as your principal weapon.
Yeah, so for those curious, while John is looking this up, almost every single upgrade I have either modifies how much damage I do or modifies how well I crit.
Yeah, when you make a combined attack for 2-weapon fighting, it does not apply the item quality of the secondary weapon to the primary weapon attack.
Okay.
So you pick which weapon you're leading the attack with.
Well,
And
between the two,
if
that's
you're- If you are then going to, you can then spend 2 advantages to hit with the second one, but it doesn't influence the abilities of the other lightsaber. It doesn't pass item qualities around.
between the two, the crossguard lightsaber has more defensive qualities, and the Shoto has the accuracy bonus, so I can lead with the Shoto.
Okay, so you're leading with the Shoto. You still have the lightsaber. You still have the defensive lightsaber, so you still have that quality.
Yeah.
Also, if like Crack is watching, he may notice that Red's lightsaber oscillates in color and potency a lot. And
I appreciate the heads up. That is something he will be fascinated by. He is not watching. He's in the thing. But thank you. I appreciate that because that is definitely something he would pay attention to.
You used the crossguard lightsaber for that one.
in case I forget next time, Red has a lightsaber.
But it's the same
out.
skill, so it doesn't matter.
Thank you
It's the
very
same
much.
skill, so I just
Yeah.
added an extra boost die for the accuracy bonus
Yeah.
of the.
And we need
of the
red
Shoto.
and red's attack.
Bah.
William, you only upgraded your attack once, not twice.
Oh, did I? Oh,
Yeah.
Oops. Do that one more time.
That even
Still
works.
have successes.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
End of triumph now.
That light side point is not there.
Yep.
Uh,
So yeah, you guys are fairly evenly matched. Red, Corserath seems to be able to keep up with you, even though it's very clear he can't see you.
mhm.
fighting a Force user, the Force guides you, etc. He does seem to be having a little bit more difficulty parrying, but again, there comes this moment where that Shoto lightsaber comes up, deflects your blade around, and the other lightsaber stops just a hair's breadth from your neck, even though he clearly can't see where your neck is.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Yeah. And while I don't necessarily know if we need to keep rolling, Red's willing to go for a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah.
Like,
so with this sort of established, you keep going, and it's pretty clear to both of you that you're fairly evenly matched. Just that Korsrath has a slight edge over you.
Korsrath is specifically trained not
the
just
lightsaber duelist has a slight edge over the sniper.
Yes.
It's the break is Korsrath. You're trained to hunt targets individually. Korsrath is trained specifically to fight Force users.
Yeah.
Sitting off.
And like the guard, the temple guard pike does help.
Yeah.
But
sitting off to the side, we're sort of, oh yeah, if they attack first, you'll definitely be able to stop them.
So, what's everyone else doing for the day?
So Nereus has once again rearranged the entire contents of the medical bay. Just again, it doesn't need to be tidied up, but it's happened again. And then is sitting in the lounge reading.
Jash?
Jash is mostly hovering outside the med bay, occasionally poking his head into the hangar to watch the sparring back and forth.
Nereus, you have noticed that Jash seems to be hovering near you a lot.
Would you like to assist? You are here.
Do you need help? Absolutely.
No, but
What do we need to move?
well, I was thinking of moving the bacta tank just and it is quite heavy.
I'm not very athletic, but I'll certainly assist.
Thank you.
Brawn of 2.
My brawn is 1, so you're better than me. It's the important thing.
Between the two of you, you've got a brawn of 3.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Still not as good as Graz. Okay.
How did you?
Still not as good as
up-
Avasia.
No. You do not need to reply, but I am curious. How did you end up on the cutter? With the order, you were.
I was exiled. The ascendancy looks rather poorly
Yes.
on people of our type, as I'm sure you were aware. So.
Yes, not personally, but I have heard. I have never been to.
I see. Well, our people feel that the ability to delve into the vagaries of the Force is a bit too mystical, which is why it is discouraged. I cannot help what I am.
No.
And when one is forced out of one's environment, it's common to seek out one that is more friendly.
Well, welcome here.
Thank
I will probably need to reiterate this for Red, but I was found by Nibishuza on a trash heap in Nalhutta? Is that where it was?
Yeah,
I can't
Nalhutta.
remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Nalhutta is the trash heap of the galaxy, so.
Yes.
Yep, sure is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well,
But that was Tallahassee.
that's very like the Exarch. Seeing the value in what's been rejected by others.
Yes. The Sith who attacked the cutter
Yes.
was the person who made me. I was an experience, and at this point, because Nereus has had, after like the tension moment had bottled up again, and at this point stopped suppressing. So if you can maybe sense that, I don't know how sensitive.
Right, you can sense the
Yeah.
force coming out of Nereus.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, and now we are flying in the opposite direction. How do you feel about that?
Conflicted.
Understandable.
That is good. I think this will do better. I look around the med bay. Thank you.
Of course.
Exit. It is as much conversation as Nereus is willing to go with right now.
All right. Crack, you are making a new lightsaber?
Yes, I am doing all the things that I do, including getting to re-roll it, which I did, and I got 2 success and 2 triumph, which means I get to make the new one with an integral attachment, which I'm very excited about.
All right. What does your new lightsaber look like?
It is a this one actually is a guard shoto, which is essentially a tonfa saber.
Yeah.
He's building it from the other part, so it will, unless you can think of some bullshit lore way that I can change the color, it will have a red blade, because I'm using the crystal from one of the sabers we got from the apprentices.
Yeah, no,
but,
the color's already been set in those crystals, so their color is tuned to red at the moment. You can change. There are ways to change it, but it requires purifying the crystals, and that's not something you can do right now.
I will also say that's Craig wanting his character to look cool. Crack could not fucking care less.
Yeah.
It has the same sort of modular design as the other one. I would also like to spend 300 credits to install the paired weapon modification to both it and my main saber.
Right. So you're going to need to make difficulty 2 mechanics roll to create the things from scratch.
Okay.
Because remember, you're creating these modifications from scratch, and then it just takes 10 minutes to install. So,
I'm adding 1 boost from the assistance of the Crabots and 1 boost from the
and since it's
from my talent, my inventor talent,
yeah,
and then I'm taking an automatic advantage from the lightsaber toolkit.
And even though you're making a mod for both lightsabers, because it is the paired mod specifically, also you only need 1 roll to craft it.
So that's 3 advantage, but not a success.
All right. Do you have that ability to re-roll again, or no?
No, I already used it.
Okay.
I get to do it
so
once per day.
You've made some amount of progress, but you have not finished the paired mod. It'll still take a little while of working on it before you can actually complete it and then install it.
Do you want me to roll again, just for the additional?
We'll say you'll be able to roll again tomorrow.
Okay.
So that's why you've created the thing and you started working on the paired mod. You didn't fail, so you don't lose those materials, but you haven't completed it yet.
And the integral attachment I would like to do with the double triumph is the reflex mod, which adds it adds one deflection and 1 defensive to it.
Sure.
And if I spend a strain, it increases my parry and reflection ranks by 1.
Sure. Yeah. You have the triumphs to do that, so you do install those.
Okay.
You spend most of the day doing that, and which makes sense that you don't finish the paired mod in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a little bit of work left to do that you can begin working on tomorrow.
Okay.
So the alert, the dropping out of hyperspace alert comes over the intercom, letting you all know that the ship's about to drop out of hyperspace.
Go up and deal with that.
Well,
I'll meet Red up there.
you drop out, only to be faced with what can only be described as a conflict on the galactic scale, as you see Republic ships and Imperial ships firing on each other. And that's where we're going to end for this week. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Hey.
Goodbye.